Hello, I'm Max. I am a youth climate ambassador for Transform Our World, and today I'm going to be interviewing Peter Wohlleben, who has written a trilogy of books about nature and trees. One of his books, which is his most popular book, is called The Hidden Life of Trees, and it's really good. I recommend it. It talks about amazing topics about trees, including trees having a nervous system-like structure inside of them. So I'm really excited. And you've written The Hidden Life of Trees, The Inner Life of Animals, and The Secret Network of Nature. How are you doing today?
Fun? Sorry.
How are you doing? How's life going in general?
Life is going great. Besides the COVID-19 pandemic, as you know, we have all the same problems. But perhaps it's a good thing that we all have the same problems, because we know it's one world and not just single countries. And concerning this, it's to come to the point. To the weather, we have a foggy fall day here. We have lovely old beech tree forests, which are now going to fall asleep during winter time. So it's all calming down. And I'm here in our Forest Academy, and I'm looking forward to our talk.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So firstly, would you like to give an overview of what you do in general, in terms of your work and lifestyle?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, because every day is different. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, I'm a forester. I'm every day out in the forest, and perhaps some hours in the office in the old forest house. But meanwhile, it's very diverse, and which is beautiful, because every day is a surprise. For example, we are talking now, which wouldn't have happened 10 years ago. So that's lovely. And we teach here people, train them how to manage their forest. We have this project about ancient beech tree forests, which we protect by a web project. We manage forests. We still manage forests, but in an environmentally friendly way. So it's every day is different. So there isn't a normal day, which is really great.
Yeah, the seasons, like the changing seasons, are just so exciting. I can't choose a favorite season. If you have a favorite season, what is your favorite season?
I think there's only one season which I don't like that much. That is around February and March, when it's very wet and rainy, and we are awaiting spring. But all other seasons are great, because I love the spring when the green leaves come out, and summer when it's getting warmer, but hopefully not too hot in times of climate change. But now fall, when the whole forest gets colored in red and yellow and brown and green. And wintertime, perhaps, hopefully, we get some snow, which I really love very much. So every season is great, beside this little slot, February, March.
It does. I kind of agree, where there's no leaves everywhere.
Yeah.
What drove you from forestry to befriending trees?
Sorry, pardon?
What drove you from forestry to befriending trees?
I don't know if I get the question right, because the audio is not perfect. It's about befriending trees, or
Yes.
the trees which are working together as a community. Yeah, right.
So what made you change from being a forester
okay.
cutting a tree?
Yeah. Now I got the question. When I was a little child, around about 6 years old, I wanted to become a conservationist with the age of 6. And later on, I realized that this is not a profession, and not a real profession. And then I studied forestry because I thought, okay, a forester is something like a tree keeper. But it turned out that a forester is more like a tree butcher. And then I changed management over the years, and nowadays with our Forest Academy, with a big team of people who are working for protecting the forest, I have become what I wished to become as a child. I'm a conservationist, and that's really great.
That's amazing. It's lovely that people have changed from that, and it's evolving. How do you think trees will adapt to survive climate change?
Yeah, that's really a big issue. We see nowadays that trees are able to learn. For example, the trees which have always stand in sunny stands, which are on the southern side of the hills, for example, there it's always more dry. It's hotter there, so these trees are used to hot summer days, and they haven't suffered that much than trees on the northern side of the hills here in our area, because they haven't experienced so far a dry summer. So we see that trees are able to learn. That takes years, and we know that after such dry summers, they change their water management for the rest of their lives, so that they save some water from the winter time in the soil into the summer, for the case that it's not raining enough. And we know, that's a new research from this year, that they're able to give this information through their seeds. That's called epigenetic ways. They can give this information from one generation to the other, not by mutation of genes, but by epigenetic. And so that the seeds, the little seedlings, knows instinctively, okay, we have to save water. So trees and forests in general are very slow, but they are adapting to climate change. And that's the good news, because forests, that's research from Germany, we know that they can cool down the local climate up to 10 degrees Celsius. And they can create their own rain clouds. It's significant more rain over such forests. So they are adapting to climate change as long as we don't disturb them. And disturbing means to take your chainsaw and cut some trees, and then the system will be damaged and can't do this job. So the task is not to disturb forests too much by harvesting timber.
So do you think trees would be the answer to tackling climate change?
Pardon?
Do you think trees are the answer to tackling climate change then?
They will stand climate change. I think they are our biggest hope. But what most people don't realize, that the deforestation is the biggest problem. It's not the burning of coal. It's burning of coal and oil is, of course, a very big problem. But the biggest problem is the deforestation for animal keeping and for creating animal food. For example, in Germany, we have around about 100,000 square kilometers of forest, and the same area is reserved for the production of animal food. So if we reduce meat consumption, we could have more forest, we could have a cooler climate, we could have more rain, and that's up to us. If we say, oh, it's too hot, it's too dry, we can change just a little bit our way of life, and then some things will come in order. Not all things. I think we have other big problems like the use of plastics, the extinction of species, and so on. But one big solution can be to restore and have more old intact forests, which would like to help us, which offer their help, and we just have to say, okay, do your job, and we are all happy.
In your book, The Hidden Life of Trees, you talk about lots of different amazing, exciting things that we know about trees now, and case studies. Do you think there's still a lot that we don't know about them?
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know. For example, we don't know around about 80 to 90% of all species living in European forest, also in UK. But there are very small and little species like bacteria, fungi, and so on. So that means many people say, okay, bacteria, that's not very interesting. But without bacteria, we all wouldn't be able to live. So they are very important in the ecosystem, and we don't know most of the species which are driving this system. So this would be interesting how it really works. And the other thing which would interest me personal is, we know a lot about tree communication, but it's always stress communication, because it's so easy to detect. For example, when a bark beetle bites into the bark of a tree, then there's an electrical signal which we can measure. We can measure that the surrounding trees are preparing in advance, and we can measure the communication. But what are trees communicate about when they feel well, when there's nothing going on, when they just say, I'm fine? Because that's very hard to prove that scientifically, but that would be great to have a little electronic detector which can detect chemical substances, and we would translate it in, hello beach, oh, I'm fine. That would be a dream.
That would be brilliant. Like, seeing if they did the same. I mean, hopefully they would do more than just say, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to young people who are interested in discovering more about trees and nature, either professionally or as a hobby?
The first advice which I like to give is be optimistic, because old people like me tend to say, "Oh, the future is very dark, and we are going over tipping points, and then it's too late." No, that's nonsense. It's never too late. Nature is very strong. It's harder to go the way back as the longer we go in the wrong direction, right? But it's never too late, and it can be a lot of fun to restore nature, to see the efforts. That's the only advantage of this destroyed nature, which is really sad, but that's an advantage. The more it is destroyed, the bigger are the visible efforts when you restore it, especially in the first years. So it's very interesting to see nature coming back, and there are a lot of professions you can do in the environmentally jobs like ecoforestry or management of ecosystems in general. So there are a lot of jobs in this on forest, and there's a lot of hope. So don't believe, and I think that is most important, don't believe old people saying, oh, it's all too late.
Thank you. This has been amazing. For one last question, it's a quick fire round. What's your favorite tree, if you have one, type of tree?
In general, I love old trees, and all trees which are living in their typical ecosystem. I love spruce trees in Sweden. I love old beech trees here in Germany, old oaks in England, or just little birch trees in northern Scotland, for example. Yeah, in general, I love trees which are fine in their families, and where you see, they are perhaps happy.
Thank you. It's been amazing to talk to you. I've been really excited. Thank you.